I feel very proud to be an Indian, and I'm sure a lot of people feel. But corruption bothers me, and I'm sure you also spoke about it. Do you think spirituality can help get rid of corruption to some extent?
So let's understand this corruption, because it's a very important thing that everybody understands this properly in its right perspective, rather than reacting against a bunch of people who are in an advantageous position, okay? Why I want you to understand this is because for the first time in the history of independent India, these 64 years, that means 2 generations of people, they have at least 50 to 60% of them have had such a bad deal. Today you and me will talk all this and go home and eat well.
Correct.
There's a whole bunch of people, almost 400 million people, who cannot do that. So, if we handle the next 5 to 10 years right, we can change that. It's a tremendous possibility which is on our threshold. There's an economic possibility sitting on the threshold. If we conduct this right, we can change their lives. Those people who have not eaten properly, those children who are malnourished, which have the highest level of malnourishment, those who are not educated, those who don't have opportunities, those who are in that horrible social and economic pit, their lives can change in the next 5 to 10 years if we conduct our act right. Every Indian should understand this. It is not just about economy means stock market. It is about hungry people who will have food on their plate. Economy does not mean stock market, economy does not mean foreign cars coming into India, economy does not mean you wear better clothes or this and that. Improving economy means there will be no hungry children in the country, which is something all of us should do something about. And that possibility is being jeopardized. Wherever I go, I speak to various economic and political leaders around the world, everybody says, we want to come to India, India is a big possibility, but the humiliation of corruption, we can't bear it. Because it's not just about money, they're willing to pay a percentage and get the work done, but the humiliation that they put through on a daily basis, which we have gotten used to, they're not willing to go through that. They said, it doesn't matter if we don't do business, but we don't want to come there and go through all that rubbish. So, this possibility is being jeopardized by a handful of people. Or it is wrong to say it's a handful of people, it's a nation full of corruption.
Correct.
Because how many people in Mumbai streets, if there is no policeman, will stop at the red light? I think only 10% will stop. So these 90% are corrupt people. If you make them the chief ministers and prime ministers, you know what they will do? So instead of just calling it by one bad word called corruption, we need to understand, we as a society are trying to move from a feudalistic way of managing our lives to a democratic way. The democratic way has still not sunk into us. So I am saying in our psyche, we are still feudalistic in nature, but we are trying to run a democracy. Democracy will not happen with an active sense of education as to what is democracy, what is the power of democracy, what it means, what is the responsibility of living in a democratic society. This has not been done. We just took democracy from the British and we think if they just put their vote and get their fingers dirty once in 5 years, everything is settled. No, we have not educated people. We are still a feudalistic society acting to be democratic.
So how do we do that?
It is only because common people are not participating in the democratic process.
Yes.
Participating in the democracy process does not just mean once in 5 years you cast your vote. Most people don't even do that. But I'm saying even if you do that, that is not enough. Democracy is an active sport, it's not a spectator sport. You can't sit back and say, let somebody do democracy. Democracy means you are the boss, you can't sleep on it. You have to be active to everything around you. If you do not bring that consciousness in people, that awareness and activism in people, it'll not work. At the same time, for everything you protest, for everything you call a bandh, for everything, it's our culture. People have understood the technology of how to stop the nation, bandh, hartal, but how to run the nation, it's a different technology. I am saying, at least once a month, in your street, in your region, whatever is the sticking points in your area, in your street, just make a list of that. get a few people together, whoever the councillor, the MLA, call him for a meeting, talk to him what needs to happen. Casting vote once in 5 years is not good enough because you employ somebody and you don't see that he works. That is not… does make sense, isn't it?
Do you get angry?
You want me to right now? It's not that I'm incapable of anger, I'm capable of everything. It is just that I have not given this privilege to anybody that they can make me angry, they can make me happy, they can make me unhappy, they can make me miserable. I have not given this privilege to anybody. If somebody need to be shouted at, boom, I'll go.
So what makes you angry?
It doesn't make me angry. If they need a shouting, I'll give it to them. So there are different kinds of people in the world. There is somebody here, if I just look at them, they'll understand why they're being looked at. There's somebody else here, if you look at them, they'll just stare back at you. If you tell them gently, they will understand. There is somebody here, if you tell them gently, they won't get it, you have to shout at them. There's somebody else here, even if you shout, they won't get it, you have to knock them on the head and tell them. Different levels of sensitivity in the world. Your action should be appropriate to the situation in which you exist. I am not bound like this, I will not say this, I will be gentle, I will be nice, I have no such things. I am just appropriate to the situations in which I exist. What you need, I will do. If you need only shouting, I'll do. What's my problem?